Well, after all the primary voting, now the political spotlight turns to the likely showdown between Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton. Mr. Trump's meteoric rise has defied all expectations, turning establishment politics on its head. But a new op-ed in the Wall Street Journal caught our eye. It's written by Peggy Noonan. Among other things, she worked as a speechwriter for President Reagan. It's titled, "Trump was a spark, not the fire," and argues that the groundwork was set for this sea change and the media did not cause Mr. Trump's success. Noonan writes, quote, "But the media did not make Donald Trump's allure. His allure made for big ratings. Mr. Trump was a draw from the beginning. If anyone had wanted to listen to Jeb Bush, cable networks would have been happy to show his rallies too. When Mr. Trump was on, ratings jumped. But it wasn't only ratings, it was something else. It was the freak show at its zenith. It was great TV. You didn't know what he was going to say next. He didn't know." Let's get some reaction from our media panel today. Judy Miller is a Pulitzer Prize-winning investigative reporter, author, and Fox News contributor. Lynn Sweet, Washington bureau chief at the Chicago Sun-Times. Lynn, what do you think about what Peggy Noonan has to say there?
Peggy Noonan is very wise and very smart. And what she also hit on in her column is that maybe Donald Trump understood that conservative orthodoxy wasn't the driving motivation for people who wanted to vote in the Republican primary. That's part of the appeal of his message, and that's why he caught on. And yeah, obviously the reality freak show aspect is not controversial now. No one saw it coming. No one thought it would be effective, and few predicted he would be the presumptive nominee. But the other big thing in Peggy's very smart column is that the conservatism that the Paul Ryan wing of the Republican Party, the Mitch McConnell wing, may not be the driving political force at this time.
I'm not sure. I mean, the sub-headline is the establishments, both media and conservative, failed to anticipate how they would be consumed. But I'm not sure it's entirely about conservatism, Judy. I mean, if Donald Trump had run as a Democrat, I think he would have ignited excitement among Democratic voters.
I think that's true, and I think that even though I agree with Lynn and I agree with Peggy to a certain extent, I'm not going to let the press, those of us, that is, off the hook, because we amplified this message. We were an indispensable component of what she calls the freak show. We made it possible for Donald Trump to get $2 billion worth of free publicity. We are part of this problem because, yes, I think what's happened is a problem, not only for the Republican Party, but for our democracy at large.
Here's another portion of what she wrote. She says, TV producers were all sure he, meaning Donald Trump, would die on their show. They weren't for Mr. Trump. By showing him, they were revealing him. Look at this fatuous dope. See through him. They knew he'd quickly enough say something unforgivable, and if he said it on their air, he died on their show. They took him down with the question. It was only after a solid 6 months of his not dying that they came to have qualms. They now understood they were helping him. Nothing, he says, is unforgivable to his supporters. Lynn, there is the sense that a lot of people put Donald Trump on TV thinking that they were going to take him down a peg.
Or that he would take himself down a peg. And again, I want to agree with what Judy said. I think the people who had these endless interview opportunities with Donald Trump just have to do a better job in their interviewing and figure out a way to try better to get answers and not just get the same answer all the time. I know it's hard, but especially the TV interviewers have more opportunity than print people to talk to him for an extended period of time. And whether or not there was a thought that his own words would get him down, well, now we know not. He is immune to fact-checking, of which the print press is especially assiduous. So, having known that, I think especially it goes to the people who have the most time to interview him to try and pepper him with enough questions, maybe even raise different topics, to try and learn a little bit more about what he's thinking in terms of how he wants to govern, how he would, some of his policies. And part of this you could do by just asking questions on different topics. Try something else.